Okay, so here's the deal. You're being played, and the crazy part, the game is happening inside your own head. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this thing people are calling brain rot and really look at the digital forces that are, well, actively rewiring your brain.
Have you ever had that feeling like after hours of just scrolling and scrolling, your brain feels like it's literally melting? You know, that mental fog where you just can't focus and everything feels kind of off? If you've been there, trust me, you are not alone.
And listen, here's the most important part right off the bat. This is not a personal failure. It has nothing to do with you having no willpower. It's about a system that's designed to get you hooked. So, yeah, let's dive into how it works.
So, that system we just mentioned, the one designed to keep you hooked, well, it has a very specific target. It isn't just after your time or your attention. No, it's going deeper. It's systematically hacking into your brain's most ancient fundamental reward system.
And this feeling actually has a name now, brain rot. Now, it's not some official medical diagnosis, but it was just named Oxford's Word of the Year for 2024. Why? Because it just perfectly captures this experience we're all having with digital overload. It's basically the cognitive price we're paying for binging on all this endless, super low quality content.
And look, this isn't some niche problem. We're talking about almost everyone. There are over 5 billion people on social media. That means we're all kind of swimming in the same digital ocean, and let me tell you, the currents in that ocean are incredibly strong. So, how does this hack actually work? Well, it all boils down to a pretty simple mechanism inside your brain, something scientists call the pleasure-pain seesaw. The best way to think about it is like it's the operating manual for your own reward system. Okay, so picture this. Your brain's reward system is like a seesaw, just perfectly balanced. This is its natural state. It's called homeostasis. You're not too happy, not too sad, you're just level. Then you watch a funny TikTok or you get a notification, and boom, you get a little hit of that feel-good chemical, dopamine. And what happens? The pleasure side of your seesaw tips right down. It feels awesome, right? That's the rush.
Okay, but here's the thing about your brain. Its number one job is to maintain balance. It hates being out of whack. So to counteract that sudden hit of pleasure, it starts adding these little invisible pain weights to the other side of the seesaw. This whole process is called neuroadaptation. It's pretty much your brain going, whoa, 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 that's way too much pleasure. Let's level this thing out.
And right here, this is where the whole problem starts. Once that video is over and the pleasure is gone, those little pain weights, they're still there. So the seesaw doesn't just go back to level, it crashes down hard on the pain side. And that feeling, that's the come down. That's the anxiety, the irritability, that deep craving that makes you immediately reach for your phone to get another hit. You see, that's the cycle.
And if you live in this cycle long enough, the end result is, well, that's kind of terrifying. There's this addiction expert, Dr. Anna Lemke, who puts it perfectly. She says, the relentless pursuit of pleasure for its own sake leads to anhedonia, the inability to take joy in anything at all. Think about that. You chase these little highs so much that you literally lose the ability to feel joy in anything. So this constant back and forth, this seesawing, it has real tangible costs. Living in what's called a dopamine deficit state isn't just a bad feeling. It actively messes with our ability to just function. I mean, just think about the difference. Real connection with people, actually talking, listening, dealing with conflict, it's hard, right? It takes effort. But digital connection, it's frictionless. It's designed to give you that instant little hit of validation, which pulls you away from the much harder but way more rewarding work of actual relationships. And the fallout from this is very real. Our brains get trained on this endless stream of tiny, bite-sized content, and they start to struggle with the big stuff. Our attention span, it just drops. Our memory gets worse. Even basic problem solving feels harder. And on top of all that, we feel more anxious, and weirdly, even though we're supposedly more connected than ever, we end up feeling this deep sense of digital loneliness. There was this one experiment that just shows how deep this stuff goes. It's wild. So a healthy rat will actually work really hard to free another rat that's trapped in a cage. But you take a rat and give it access to heroin, it will completely ignore its trapped friend. The drug literally takes over the most fundamental drive for social connection. It rewires the brain to value the substance more than empathy for another living being. Okay, I know, that was pretty heavy, but here's the really, really good news. This is not a permanent state of being. You can absolutely reset your brain. It's time for a system reboot. So what do the experts recommend? A 4-week dopamine fast. What that means is you intentionally take a break from your drug of choice, whether that's social media, video games, junk food, whatever, for 1 month. The whole goal is just to let that pleasure-pain seesaw finally get back to a level baseline. But I gotta warn you, the first 2 weeks are gonna be tough, really tough. This is what you could call the craving vortex. Your brain is in that deficit state and it is screaming for a fix. You're probably gonna feel anxious, irritable, incredibly bored. That's withdrawal, and you just have to push through it. But if you can get through that, by weeks 3 and 4, something pretty amazing starts to happen. Your brain realizes that the external supply has been cut off, so it starts making its own dopamine again. That seesaw starts to level out. And all of a sudden, simple things, like just taking a walk outside or having a real conversation with a friend, they start to feel genuinely good again. And look, you can help this reboot along with a few simple habits. First, just be intentional. Curate your feeds. Unfollow all the negative stuff. Use the built-in app features to set actual time limits. Find hobbies offline that make you focus. And please prioritize sleep. That's when your brain does its most important cleanup and maintenance. You know, the most hopeful part of this whole thing comes from a quote by Dr. Gary Small. He says, your brain has incredible plasticity. It's like a muscle. You can retrain it. Any of that mental sharpness you feel like you've lost, you can get it back. The damage is not permanent, it's reversible. Look, at the end of the day, we live in an attention economy that's designed to hijack our brains for profit. That's just a fact. But understanding the mechanism, how it all works, that's the first huge step to taking back control. Which really just leaves one final crucial question for you. Who's really in control of your next scroll?